Welcome to Buffy Virgin, a spoiler-free Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast. We're going to be reuniting with our exes because it's Season 6, Episode 15, As You Were. I'm your host, cartoonist Dennis St. John. Why don't the rest of you guys introduce yourselves?
My name is Travis, and you may call me the Doctor, and I definitely do not have demon eggs in my house ready to hatch. I don't have that, so don't come over, guys.
My name is John, and I'm really disappointed that I don't get to come over for the demon egg party at the doctor's house.
My name is Michael. I'm the Virgin. I've only seen Buffy up to Season 6, Episode 15, As You Were, and I'm just holding some eggs for a friend. They're just there for a friend. He'll come by any minute.
It's the Easter hunt from hell. But before we explain what that joke is about, let's do reactions to Once More with Feeling. And we're going to start with Unrelated Coma. John, why don't you read that?
All right. Xander has trepidation about the impending wedding, and he happened to read about a demon that reveals secrets through songs. So his cold feet drives him to summon the demon so he can find out how Anya feels, but he doesn't wear the amulet that signifies he summoned it. Maybe he was just being lazy about following the rules. Since Dawn is in klepto mode, when she sees the amulet and has no idea what's going on with it, she steals it and unintentionally becomes the target of the demon's price, becoming his bride. Once it's all revealed, though, Sweet decides to waive the price because he doesn't want Xander. It's just a confluence of personal stories prior to the start of the episode, Xander's cold feet and Dawn's kleptomania that end up intertwining because they are both secrets and there was no way for anyone else to intervene and avoid what happens as a result. The whole episode is essentially chickens coming home to roost for these two secrets that Xander and Dawn aren't reaching out for help with. Yeah, I don't think that was, I feel like that's the fairly clear interpretation of what happens in that episode. Although I think it does leave a little bit of room for interpretation if you want to believe that something else happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were mostly just throwing out, like, what ifs.
Yeah.
But also, I will defend, if you have to spend two whole paragraphs explaining what happens, then it isn't not confusing.
I mean, the answer to all of this is, what is the explanation for why the musical episodes happens? The answer is no one cares. You get the musical episode, you enjoy it.
You move on.
That's all. Yeah. No one cares what the mechanics of it are.
Well, I appreciate this comment because I feel enlightened. I feel like I actually understand. This was not getting through to me about the cause of the music.
Okay. Mike, why don't you read the next one?
From Ribby?
From Ribby, yeah.
I think there was one line a couple episodes ago where Giles gave Buffy money that led to the Standing in the Way song. But I agree it felt kind of wrong. I think the idea is supposed to be that Giles is concerned that resurrected Buffy doesn't feel tied to the world, and if he's there to do the adult bits for her, she's even less likely to snap out of it, which is why in his next song he says, "Is my Slayer too far gone to care?"
Cool. Yeah, thank you, Ruby. Travis, why don't you read Ivana's note?
Okay, Ivana Klitsch. I just finished second season of The Order, and James Marster is there in 2 episodes. And because this series is like a parody of all the teenage paranormal dramas. What could happen if you had some teenagers with magic and werewolf powers? Probably it's not very good. People die in this college and university just like in Sunnydale High School, and no one seems to care there either. It's a great and funny series. I wish they gave us more, but it's Netflix and it's also a pandemic. I agree with you. I watched season 1 of The Order. One of my work friends really enjoys The Order, and I liked I like a lot about it. And I'm watching season 2 of The Order as well because I want to see James Marsters act.
Sorry, I walked away.
Oh! They also said. Also, I accidentally watched You Might Be the Killer and bang, Allison Hannigan is in the movie, and her role is talking on the phone, walking and sitting, but it's still fun. Okay.
Cool. And I think the other guy in You Might Be the Killer is from Dollhouse, so another Whedon alum. Why don't we do reactions for Season 6, Episode 14, Older and Far Away?
Sagov9 says, wait, you didn't resolve the Spike saves Buffy's life prediction in Once More with Feeling when he interrupted her suicide dance. That is a really good point, Sagov9. We might have to talk about that when we get to predictions today.
Yeah, I guess we missed that.
So Nadra says, "Yay, you're back. Was wondering where you were. Edit 6 minutes in, and I feel bad now about the above comment." What happened 6 minutes in?
That's when we were like, hey, we're going to, we've still been recording. That's when we described like what's been going on in the pandemic. And we did the next set of reactions.
Okay.
In technical terms, we guilt trip the audience at 6 minutes in.
You don't have to feel bad. I am glad that you are glad we're back. Travis, can you decode this next one?
Yeah, Aaron Broderick asks Buffy Virgin Pod on Twitter, have you checked out the Nevers episode 1 yet? And they apparently are very interested in the show. And I haven't seen the Nevers yet, but I do plan on watching it and checking it out.
Cool. Yeah, I've watched the first 2 episodes. We'll probably watch the 3rd when it comes out. And yeah, I'm interested so far. It's got me hooked with its mystery. This is a weird thing. I watched one of the behind the scenes, and it's like they interview Jane Espenson, which is cool, and they interview like the guys doing the effects, but they never mention Joss Whedon directly. Like the effects guys are like, and then the director can do this. It's a weird kind of like erasure of somebody, right?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, definitely planning on watching it. I thought I was going to wait till it's all through, but if people are interested, we could watch it sooner, I guess, and then give some feedback or give our thoughts. Maybe we should watch it sooner then.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about it on our reactions in later episodes.
The summary.
It's a low point in Buffy's life. Maybe the lowest. Rejected from UC Sunnydale, still working the grill at the Double Meat Palace, it's the perfect time for Riley Finn to show up. Riley needs Buffy's help fighting a Cevolte Demon. Or does he? Seems like Sam, Riley's wife, has it all taken care of. Later, back at Buffy's, Riley explains that the Cevolte Demon has come to the Hellmouth to lay its eggs, and that someone named the Doctor is involved. Buffy heads to Spike's crypt for sexual gratification and wakes up to find Riley has walked in on them. It's embarrassing for all the reasons, not the least of which is that Spike is the Doctor, and Riley has permission from headquarters to eliminate him. The eggs get destroyed, email addresses are exchanged, Riley heads back into the night, and Buffy tells Spike she can never love him, and she's tired of using him.
All right, let's move on to Great Lines.
Great lines.
I loved Riley chasing the monster through Sunnydale streets. National Forestry Service, we've got a wild bear. Just the having fun with the fact that the attempts to cover up monsterness are increased. Like they've always been pretty anemic in Sunnydale, but just like at this point, they're not even trying. It's great. I love that. Like he's got like the body armor on in the fast food place.
The thing that makes me always makes me think of that episode is like, what if National Forestry really did try to fight wild animals with their fists?
This is a callback to a conversation we had before the podcast started about Arnold Schwarzenegger and unbelievable jobs. But like, this is the most unbelievable job person pairing there is so far in Buffy.
What, that Riley would be in the forestry service?
But the National Forestry Service is not in the forest, A. 2, it has no weapons and is fighting barehanded bears. Like, that's so illogical.
Well, I just love this line from Buffy. She's rushing to take the trash out, too late, sees the binman go away, and she says this really sad, defeated, "Don't you want your garbage?" I love that scene, and I love the follow-up to that scene, but anyway.
Yeah. Mike stole my line, but
I was in this doc before you. What's up with that? Hey, I wrote that down.
Hey, I've watched this episode before you.
Fair.
I don't love this line, but I love it because it's bad, and it's like WTF, but Willow just says, when asked about magic, Willow goes, "I got addicted the way addicts do." And I'm like, what is this sentence? It's not good, but it's strange.
I picked a back and forth between Buffy and Riley. Did you die? No, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Such intense lives they lead.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the kill count.
The kill count.
So I picked out 1 vampire, 1 adult demon, and 10 baby demons. And I'm going to get into the separation between the adult and baby forms of this demon later, because it's crazy. And it makes no fucking sense to me. But first, let's do the rest of Weird Noticings and Trivia.
Weird noticings.
Okay. So just pasted this in at the bottom for you guys to check out. So there's a moment in the Double Meat Palace where if you look in the background, you can see the Double Meat Palace's emergency exit plan. And what I particularly notice about this is that at the very bottom, it's kind of hard to make out, but it says, in case of fire or earthquake, use stairs and not the elevators, essentially. Which to me says that the Double Meat Palace has multiple stories. So this is a fast food joint that has an upstairs or a downstairs somewhere. Maybe they're already on the second story. I don't know. So I thought that was fascinating.
That makes no sense to me. I've been in a McDonald's with the second floor before, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah, pretty rare. And apparently they have an elevator. Like it's not just that, but they have an elevator. So yeah.
Her coworker is the kind of obnoxious coworker that exists and I hate. But a true student of Machiavelli wouldn't go blabbing to his coworker about his plans. Fucking shut up.
And when Buffy gets out of work and goes to fight vampires, and the vampire's like, I'm not gonna eat you. You smell terrible. I feel like it's like a little bit classist of that vampire. Like, and the show totally plays along. But I'm like, oh, that's not really nice to say.
I mean, it's definitely funny though. I mean, it's true that when you're working there, when you're working fast food, that fast food smell is real, right?
Yeah, it is. Oh God, I smelled like Subway so bad when I worked there. That smell is so disgusting.
I mean, just the thing to do is never wear your work pants outside, right?
Yeah, but like, when you're working a job like that, how much laundry am I gonna do? Am I really?
All right, John's going down a spiral. Let's move on.
John, come back.
So at the Bronze, which, we still can't decide where the Bronze is. Like, is it a bar? Is it a coffee shop? Like, what is it? Can you take underage people there or not? No one knows. But increasing this confusion is that Dawn and Willow go there, and Dawn gets them a couple of Arnold Palmers, which I had to look up. Do you guys know what an Arnold Palmer is?
Yeah,
Did you know before you watched this?
Yeah, it's very common.
Oh, I had never really heard of it before. Well, so for everybody who's ignorant like me, apparently an Arnold Palmer is equal parts iced tea and lemonade. And it's named after a famous golfer.
Yeah. There's even jokes about it on Scrubs, which is a series I'm rewatching.
Wow.
Because JD's like, did a man ever do less to become famous?
That's a pretty good joke.
All right, let's watch Scrubs.
And apparently Arnold Palmer doesn't order an Arnold Palmer by name. He just asks for his drink.
That's like ordering What I Ams and getting cool cigarettes.
Give me a pack of What I Ams.
I am what I am.
Whoa, Popeye? I didn't know there was that inside of that.
There's a weird moment as well where, also at the Bronze, where Willow's like, Xander's planning his wedding. I remember when I used to fantasize about planning a wedding with Xander, and, I had this crush on Xander when I was young. And Dawn does not bring up that she also used to have a crush on Xander. I thought that was interesting. It was a little missed opportunity for them to laugh about how silly they were for having a crush on Xander.
Maybe it's still too recent for Dawn.
Yeah, maybe do you think she's still harboring that?
I don't know.
It hasn't been brought up in ages.
Yeah. Did Xander bring his own chips to the Bronze?
Yes, I think he definitely did.
All right, good to know. I feel like
the Bronze is weird, but I don't think
Bronze
they're
is
selling like the family-sized Doritos there.
I was thinking about how weird it would be to be planning your wedding at the all-ages music club that you used to go to as a kid, but
Dude, what is more weird? That the fact that the Browns will let you bring chips or that they would sell you chips? That's what I can't figure out is more weird.
Well, one thing that I did notice as like a kind of a slacker zoom in and enhance is that there's like, if you look at the counter there's like a weird, just the bronze is so weird. The guy is handing a customer a beer, but to do that, he's reaching over, stacked up on the counter is like several boxes of Snyder's pretzels and also herbal
Principal
tea.
Snyder.
This is the place where you go to get your Snyder's pretzels, your herbal tea, and also you can have a beer.
I know
But
they
it
used
makes
to
no
have
sense because that glass display case is full of donuts. Like there's beautiful donuts in the glass display case that nobody's interested in.
I know they used to have a blooming onion, but it got remodeled off the menu.
That's right. And they have a cockroach problem. I don't know. It's like I suppose it's sort of like the Old West like general store. It's just one-stop shop.
It's a haberdashery.
No, it's a trans-dimensional restaurant music venue that ages with you, John.
I don't
could
know
use
what's
one of
so
those.
hard
That'd
to
be nice.
understand.
Don't you guys get it? It ages with you. It has what you need when you need it.
It's like Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. He'll always be your teacher.
Okay, I didn't watch enough of that stuff. Sorry, guys. Can't go there.
So it's garbage day. Mike, since you're the host, can you just share the famous garbage day clip that
Oh, sure, yeah.
Garbage day! No!
just if it's garbage day, you got to bring up garbage day. Yeah.
I've never seen Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
I don't think I have either, but I've seen that clip a bunch of times.
That's good crazy acting by someone who lacks a nuanced acting background. I don't know, just incapable of delivering the nuanced acting. Shit. I don't need to divulge. We don't have to go there. So, Anya Xander chip eating is weird. I was waiting for something in the DVD commentary. I was hoping someone could listen and tell me where this joke came from, the chip eating thing. If there was like an inside joke about chip eating somewhere.
I did not watch the DVDs, sorry.
That's just how stress eating works. That's just how, that's just what you do. Like chips are great for stress eating because they never fill you up and you can just do it for hours.
I just think they play this joke so hard. It felt like I was watching an airplane. Like it was like one of those style jokes where let's go in for another chip eating gag and one more. And it's just
And they have a ton of flavors. Like they're naturally occurring with a ton of different flavors.
The payoff is Xander taking chips from Anya, like taking her bag of chips, and it's like,
well,
okay.
That's because you have to switch up the chips. You can only have so much Cool Ranch or nacho cheese. Cajun Fiesta is not a flavor that I'm familiar with, though, so that was interesting.
I feel like a lot of Dorito flavors came and went over the years. I'd believe that used to be a real one.
Yeah.
I think we should point out during that chip eating scene, there's also reference to Uncle Rory.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
Uncle
back,
Rory.
baby. And Anya is waiting for the gnarls, who I assume are some sort of demon. I looked it up and I didn't find any gnarls spelled that way. But I do know another gnarl demon that we'll see later in the series.
I do love like the stuck in traffic looks like it was shot as a dream sequence. Like it's like it's twilight, like none of the cars are really moving, and it's very strange. It was like I was like, what is happening? Is this a dream?
Yeah, so do you guys remember Riley? I love Buffy's confusion about what and who Riley is and what he's like. Like, there's so many different steps. She's like, oh, I don't remember being so tall. Were you always tall?
Tall boy.
And just like, oh, you got all these gadgets. Like, Riley comes on so strong as 110% Riley. This is a new Riley, too. It's not Anarchy Riley. This is the professional Riley.
Battle damage, Riley.
Yeah.
Okay, battle damage Riley.
It's
Citizen damaged. It's like battle ready, Riley.
But he's got the scar to
got
show
the
things
scars.
have happened. It's like,
But it's like-
when we met Cleveland Buffy. She's got the scar.
But even though this is sort of like, in a way, it's sort of Darkest Timeline Riley, he's still like way not even on the dark timeline that Buffy's on. Like there's this massive gap where he's just still Riley. He's still season 4. He's still just like doo-doo-doo. And, Buffy's like, everything is shit.
Yeah. Well, like, no matter what happens to Riley, he can't actually be affected, right? Because he's like, he's Midwest strong.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, he's Kansas strong or Nebraska tough or whatever it is.
Even though he's walking into a fast food restaurant looking like a goth baseball catcher.
And
His outfit is so funny.
I'm so frustrated that nobody like acts like he's crazy looking.
Yeah.
Oh man. And yeah, I love it was almost like she remembered Anarchy Riley, but it was more like James Bond Riley. And all right, here's my call out to Dennis and John. How are you not all over this Tribbles joke?
Yep, it happened.
But it's a pretty Star Trek 101 reference. I don't know.
It also doesn't make any sense. It's like
Too basic.
It's like she was watching Star Trek to research the trio. Like that's what doesn't make any sense. She's like,
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any
I was
sense.
like, there has been no Tribble related like shenanigans. It's just sort of like, were you watching Star Trek to understand the trio? And is the Tribbles an original series or TNG?
Original series,
yeah.
and then
It's extremely original series.
yeah, and then it returns in DS9 when they go back to the original series. And there's a Star Trek short recently. I don't know if you saw, John, which explains the origin of Tribbles with H. John Benjamin. It's fucking weird.
Is that one of the short treks things
Yeah.
they did?
Yeah.
I should check that out. I didn't watch all those.
was
Also,
a
offline,
very-
we're going to have a conversation about Lower Decks, which I haven't watched yet.
I'm not gonna watch Lower Decks. I don't want to see the Seth MacFarlane Star Trek. Come on.
Yeah, but I want to see it so I can hate on it.
All right.
Anyway, sorry, back to Buffy. Okay. All right. So when she gets her rejection letter from UC Sunnydale, you actually get a pretty good look at it. You can read the whole letter, even in SD. You can read the whole letter. And one of the things, first of all, just briefly, the letter comes from Serinda Blackmaster, which is, I mean,
That is a warlock name.
that's just a name. I mean, that's, yeah. I live in Sunnydale. My name is Serinda Blackmaster. Yeah, and
probably the
and I
warlock
work in
that-
admissions.
that drove Giles out of Sunnydale. Christ.
Yeah. But more importantly, we actually get Sunnydale's zip code from the letter, which is 95037, which in real life is a suburb southwest or southeast rather of San Jose, not really near Santa Barbara at all.
Oh.
So
closer
the
to me.
location of Sunnydale continues to move. It's hard to understand.
Speaking of locations moving, somehow UC Sunnydale got Buffy's address wrong, but she still got the letter.
Oh, snap. I didn't even notice that. 1630 Crestview.
Instead of Ravello Drive.
Yeah. Suspicious. Maybe she picked up the letter at Spike's Crypt. She's just having her mail sent there.
Oh, bummer. Bummer for her.
I was super sad when like she got that rejection letter and then you're not accepted, and then she like looks up and talking to Dawn and she's like, Dawn, where are you going? And Dawn goes, school, and she's like, oh, that's good. And it's like, oh, it's kind of heartbreaking. and also it just seems like she just didn't apply in time. Like it wasn't. Yeah, it was just
it's not,
timing.
It's not her grades or anything. It's
Yeah.
just she needs to wait for the next enrollment period.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is such a bullshit technical reason to get rejected. Like, I was like, this is why Buffy needs some sort of advocate to go to the school and argue about this. This is ridiculous. Because I thought when she got rejected, that would be when Mike gets the point about Buffy failed a college class. Like, I was like, there's got to be something in that letter about her GPA, but there's nothing.
Guys, Riley's back.
Riley's back.
Riley's back and all over this episode. I'm like in shock still that Riley's back, and I feel like he was here just for a moment. Now he's gone. This is a good reaction episode to watch because I feel like there's just so many like kind of surprise moments of Riley kind of being out of touch that are kind of great. Like out of touch with both where Buffy is, but also like where this show is going. So like that car scene, which we called back from, one of the quotes and stuff, was fantastic. Where he's like, "I got so much like basically awful stuff to catch you up on, Buffy," but then doesn't catch her up on anything, and then he ends up like gaslighting her somewhat. Not gaslighting, geez, I don't need to use that term necessarily, but like he doesn't tell her the mission objective that they're on, just like he needs her to be a part of it. This is like out of a dream sequence. I mean, just the writing, the way that they handle the problem, like the forestry situation, that again, from the Great Lines. This episode's just weird. I mean, the emotional climax of the episode is awesome. We'll get to it. I think like that's worth the ride, but like it just Riley's world, it feels like a dream of what I guess being in a secret army that goes after supernatural creatures will be like if it just like busts in the door and shows up for an episode of a show. I mean, the fact that they're recruiting Buffy at work at the fast food place and just like quit your job and come with me if you want to live a more adventurous and exciting life, which is where, kind of like thought Buffy was going to get recruited or something from that moment. But then anyway, just as a reaction episode, this was fun. I watched this one with my wife and she was cackling at this one with me. It's like of how absurd Riley is.
Nice. Yeah, he does feel like at this point he's just not on the same show as everybody else, right? Yeah. He comes in and he's like, Season 4 Riley, back when the show was really silly in a way that it's not now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show was just called Riley. And
oh no, that'd be a horrible show. Just the Riley show.
So the demon they're trying to get at, I just want to talk about it a minute, the Cevolte Demon, because I don't fucking understand it at all. And you know me, I'm focused on these monsters, and I'm like, I don't understand this thing, the Cevolte. Okay, so in its adult form, it's big enough and gray enough to be mistaken for a bear, right?
No, it's not.
But it's definitely a vertebrate. And it's got its 2 legs, its 2 arms. What you can tell a little bit, I've paused this thing a lot to look at it. It's got this huge head thing that goes onto its back. And I think the back is maybe supposed to be remnants of his shell. And he's got spikes on his arms that are maybe supposed to be remnants of his insect legs or his arachnid legs or whatever. His mouth is crazy, but very it's definitely got teeth, mammalian teeth, but it's got eyes. It's got at least one set of eyes at the top of his head right by the teeth, although those could be nostrils, who knows really. But like just unarguably some sort of vertebrate. But when it's hatched from an egg, which I guess it lays eggs, although they call them eggs, but they look like the cocoons from Gremlins or like the eggs from Aliens. They're really like not mammalian or bird-like, but so when they hatch, they're some sort of invertebrate. They look like ticks. They look like giant ticks. Mm-hmm. But what animal goes from being an invertebrate to a vertebrate? It like that doesn't happen. But I mean, it's a really strange looking monster. And so it made me look up who did the monster makeup this week. And it was Todd McIntosh, who has done a ton of Buffy episodes. But he also did, I wrote down some of his things. He's been like a monster makeup guy for years. He's done a ton of stuff, like all the usual stuff we see, like Star Trek episodes, and he did Legion, but he's been doing it for years. So he was the head makeup guy on the Masters of the Universe movie. Oh. And just a ton of stuff. But also like he's also a non-monster makeup guy. Like he does beauty makeup, and he did like makeup for the Brady Bunch movie and stuff like that. Anyway, I just can't figure out this monster, but it's been haunting me.
Well, the monster makeup is fantastic. It looks like a great monster. Like I was surprised they get like such a big shot, like a wide shot, full body of the monster when they're hunting bear or whatever in downtown Sunnydale, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, I like them. I like the monster. And to be quite honest, it's hard to get too worked up over a demon that is like, oh, this demon can destroy the world, but you've never heard about it until now, and the people who are responsible for preventing that is Riley. And it's like, no. Like, like you build up a cool demon, like you need it. If it's going to have any real impact, you got to have it be around for a couple episodes. So that's what my disappointment is. It's cool. That thing should have been around for that should be a multi-episode cool demon.
Yeah, it definitely
Right.
needs more screen time to explain everything that it is, but I know that that's not the point of the episode.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm there with you, but season 6 feels like it could have used like a good I'm trashing the trio right now. The season 6 could have used a good multi-episode, really cool demon monster.
It really could, yeah. This season, yeah. Too many
Yeah.
human villains.
Yeah. Too many human villains that are not actually that like interesting.
Although what you just said about like it's Riley saying that makes me think like Riley knows Buffy has actually faced the end of the world multiple times, so he always has to like hype it up.
Hype it up, yeah. Hype man. Oh my god, he's the hype man for the Cevolte Demon.
That's such a good call about it. Yeah, being like underhyped but super deadly demon. It is such a Riley problem. It's like, I guess we'll help you. Sure. What end of the world? All right. Let's
Okay,
see.
sure. I believe you.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to be like the end of the world. It should just be like, this is a really powerful demon. It kills a lot of people. I mean, it doesn't. This sounds like it's like a locust demon that you've never heard of for thousands of years.
Moving on to Sam. So, I guess we didn't talk about Sam's introduction, but
Oh shit!
as it turns
Riley's
out-
married.
they do a Riley is married reveal, which is delightful. I mean, Riley is just like totally caught in it. They're like maybe about to make out, Buffy and Riley. Like they're just taking out this demon together. All the feelings are coming back. Riley's tall, handsome, and basically James Bond. And then like Sam like comes in and kicks more ass than Buffy could in this fight. And it's like, that's my wife. Like, love it. Love it. So they head back to, when they get back to Buffy's place, I guess to hang out, which is the oddest seeming scene. They like go from basically James Bond and his crew and Jane Bond, whatever. And now they're back at like just someone's family living room chatting. Like that is just an absurd juxtaposition, which I love. But I love also Willow in that scene is like, look, I'll hate Sam for you because I know you can't. And like that setup is so fantastic.
That's really good friending. Like I feel like sometimes this show they're bad at being friends to each other, but I was like, that's good friending, Willow.
Well, the setup is good friending, but Willow totally fails to hate Sam, and that's whatever. That's another delight in itself. That's like a joke that really pays off. I love it.
What? No. In this podcast, we have actually come out against this type of behavior. Remember years ago you complained like when you break up with someone, your friends are all like, that so-and-so person is a terrible piece of human garbage, etc.
Yes.
Remember that?
I do remember that, and I stand by that point, and I agree with that. But what Willow does is a little bit different than that.
It's slightly different. It's hating the lover of the ex-lover.
Yeah, what she's doing is she's saying to Buffy,
It's
"Do
artificial.
you need me?" It's a question.
Yeah.
Do you need me to hate this person? Because
Yeah.
I will do what you need. And
Yeah, it's slightly different.
it's not I hate them. Let's all complain about them. It's a question. I think that makes all the difference in the world.
Thank you, mysterious Black Shadow.
Sorry, I'll fix my webcam in a second.
He's just the Shadow.
The Shadow.
Is that John's new nickname, the Shadow?
Who knows?
If you have to ask, then it probably doesn't fit.
So the actress who plays Sam, Ivana Milekovic, I looked her up, and it's funny because she's like a legit Bond girl. She was in Casino Royale. She plays like a spy on the series Chuck. So she seems very well cast in this to be that type of character. But it's funny, we've been making so many James Bond jokes, and she's like a legit Bond girl.
She was in the Bond movie. Yeah.
What's she
I
doing
also-
slumming on this show? That's crazy.
Hey, this is the show that built her up to be in Casino Royale, my friend. This was the stepping stone. Everyone knows Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a stepping stone into the James Bond franchise.
I don't feel like anybody else made the step. I don't think you can make an argument for
Well,
that.
one
If
person
only one
making a
person-
step. That's not no person. That's not nobody. That's somebody.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, gateway to James Bond roles. For for one person.
That sounds like a great clickbait article to write. Also,
Can you guess which Buffy the Vampire Slayer cast member was later cast on James Bond?
Did
Who
you
was
guess the
destined for
character
Bond films?
Sam Finn?
Also, we need to update the Sunnydale map to include a hydroelectric water plant.
Oh God.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
That is, I guess technically that's more. I can't tell if that's more believable or more unbelievable than an international airport with service to London. But it's up there in the unbelievable. Train station, airport, hospital, university, museum, hydroelectric dam, docks, a port,
docks.
port authority, railroad
Zoo.
station, train station,
Yeah.
and zoo. Everything. It is like the Sim City. It's like the Sim City of California.
Well, it's just like the transdimensional, bronze that, it serves you the things you need when you need it at whatever age you are.
Secret government military installation. And
Sunnydale provides the things you need when you need it. Like the city grows or doesn't grow, but it gets what it needs. If a demon needs access to a deep pit, they're going to get it. Also, this demon's supposedly trying to head for the Hellmouth to spawn. Is that where the Hellmouth is now? Is
yeah,
it
why
in
did they
this
go
dam?
to the...
Why not to the
There was
abandoned
no
high school?
explanation about the hydroelectric dam.
Well, I think so. Xander and Anya, mostly Xander, is kind of prying Sam and Riley for info about their amazing wedding. And, I love Sam's offhand, actually great tip about putting a disposable camera at every table. It's just, these feel like it's that's actually a pretty good tip. I love it. I was expecting more wedding tips from this show. So I'll see what happens in the next episode or whatever when the wedding is. It sounds like it's next episode. But
It's coming up. John, you got to zoom and enhance.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry about my camera still not working. But so one thing that if you check out, there's a moment where Buffy gets the machine gun at the in Spike's crypt and kind of goes to town. And one of the things she does is she shoots up Spike's records. And there's a brief continuity error where, in the wide shot right before she shoots him up, the record that is in the front is, I think it says Henry Powell, which is a record that I've never heard of. Couldn't find anything about it online. Doesn't seem to exist. But then as soon as she goes to shoot it, suddenly it's a different record. It's The Catter Family Sings, which is a very obscure gospel record that Spike is apparently listening to. And then when she shoots the records and they start to blow up, you can see for exactly one frame that Spike also has a copy of the off-Broadway musical The Wiz.
Oh, nice.
Spike has been listening to gospel and The Wiz.
Didn't we find out that Sweet is on the Wiz soundtrack?
Yes, we did. That's right. So there you go. That's an interesting connection. Yeah.
Do you think the actor brought that record to set and just left it by accident? I'm just kidding. Always be promoting.
Well, I guess I want to talk about the emotional climax of this episode where, Buffy goes back to Spike because she needs it. And especially after kind of this interaction with Riley and Sam and her ex is happier than she'll ever be in a more fulfilling life and is winning at everything. And then so she decides to go to her low place, which is to hook up with Spike. And freaking Riley shows up, walks in on her with Spike in bed. It's just unequivocal. You cannot lie your way out of this one, Buffy. You had sex with Spike. You liked it. And wow, what a scene. I love this because Riley's the most judgmental prick in the world to bring into this scene. And just after this kind of sequence, Riley also says he has clearance to kill her current boyfriend, he has clearance to kill Spike if she's cool with it, if she wants him to. I love this. It's just insane low moment. It's just a complete nightmare for somebody. I can't imagine. And this has to be this is why all these pieces were put together, so we could create this nightmare scenario for Buffy. But
Rough times.
Yeah, getting into other parts of the scene, like Spike is the doctor. They've mentioned that there's the doctor they're looking for, and then Spike is the doctor is so funny. I totally fell for that setup.
Actually, now one of my thoughts was, what if he's not the doctor, but the doctor is the friend?
That his lie was real. They're like, I'm holding this for a friend.
I guess the question is, is his lie real? Because to me, it almost seems like Spike is a lot more, like, Spike does not have the connections or the brains to actually do any of this. Like, all of this is outside of his purview, right? He steals. He's like a petty thief. He's not some criminal mastermind. So to me, it actually makes more sense as if he was really just holding the eggs for a friend, because Spike's not that smart.
That's possible. I suppose it doesn't matter. All right, for the purposes of the episode, he's guilty, whether by association or directly.
Yeah, I mean, this reminds me of in later DS9 episodes how at that point everybody have been through so much with the Cardassian have taken over DS9 and then they've got it back and stuff, and that they basically trust Quark, but he's still Quark, so he's still running scams. That's what it is with Spike. Like he's still a villain doing villainous stuff, but people have basically forgotten about it.
Yes, scamp.
Oh, one of these days I'm gonna put you in jail forever.
Yeah, that's why I thought that it was just he was just too stupid. He's like, yeah, I'll hold these eggs, and he didn't listen to the instructions and stuff.
Oh, he definitely didn't listen to the eggs. But I also believe he is the kind of dummy who would create a nickname for himself for one heist. It's like, call me the Doctor. Yeah, that sounded awesome.
And that nickname does not apply at all. There is literally, I mean, they should be like what's Mike? You were once not really a chicken farmer,
criminal?
but you were once an egg harvester. What's the name for someone who cares over a coop? A cooper?
No, those people make barrels.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I was just wondering if there's more than one use of coop.
A farmer.
Yeah. Chicken farmer? Don't really farm chickens.
None of that sounds anywhere near as cool.
Yeah. What about the Yolkster?
It's probably protein harvester or something like that. If that's what you're looking for, Travis.
I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna get on this.
What was in the Batman TV series? What was Vincent Price's character's name? It was Eggman or something, right?
A poultry farmer. Okay. A poultry man. A poultry man. That's not that exciting.
Egghead. He was Egghead on Batman.
Yeah. Oh, right. Vincent Price on Batman. That's right. All he does is make egg puns, and then
he tries to steal a dinosaur egg, but then Batman's hidden inside it dressed as a dinosaur to scare him.
That show is so good. People don't even know nowadays. They don't even know.
Now, to be fair, Dr. Robotnik also was obsessed with eggs, right? And he was a doctor, but that was more of a physics type situation.
He just looked like an egg.
Yeah. Wasn't he called Eggman in Japan?
In Japan, yeah.
In Japan, he was called Eggman.
Eggman.
And we called him Dr.
In
Robotnik.
the cartoon series, Sonic always called him Robotnik.
I know. Never make your name for yourself. That easily has butt puns.
Yeah. We got a lot to say about Buffy this episode.
Yeah.
I also want to say that the cavern beneath his crypt is so much nicer than the crypt.
Yeah.
But they had sex in the crypt because
the eggs are
down.
Yeah. Exactly. Buffy should have known something was up. He was like,
you
let's
definitely
stay
know
on
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's stay in the God. Yeah.
Well, this rock bottom episode for Buffy is unbelievable. I can't believe that they took the character this far down, and just gave her such a sad kind of just took her character in such a sad direction.
Yeah.
She's working at the burger place, which doesn't make sense. She should be working with a professional organization like Riley's, military or security or a detective agency. We've seen so many kind of variations on what she should be doing, and yet the show decides to torture her with a fast food job. And so, like, that's just so unbelievable that she would tolerate that kind of thing. Like, there's so many better paying opportunities. That part's unbelievable in its own way. But then, like, to also, like, she continues to be with Spike, even though she can't bring Spike around. Like, she's willing to be shamed, like, and live this kind of shameful lie that, you know, actually would be less shameful if she just let people know that she was doing it. Instead, it's this weird secret with the creepy dude, Spike, who, like, is waiting for you behind a tree when you get home from work. I mean, whatever Spike is. That's a question I have. But she's at her lowest in this episode, and it's so sad to see this happen to her. And she's also, like, she came back from death for this, right? For nothing. And this...
Now you know why she's so pissed.
I just need the reversal on this character so hard. They're just crushing her in this episode.
Yeah.
But also, like, this doesn't feel like the right way to crush her either. This feels like just a weird direction.
Yeah. I think you're getting at why fans have such a hard time with season 6.
Yeah.
Like, you know, season 2 Buffy got crushed also by Angelus. But, like, you know what she did? She fucking grabbed the sword. She said, like, everybody else is gone. All I've got is me. But, like, me is strong enough. And, like, we haven't seen that from Buffy this season. Like, that's what the fans are aching for, is, like, Buffy to stand up and fight. But instead, every single episode is a rock bottom. And then she just keeps digging, man. It's like a fucking quarry over here, man.
You what is that? You can't dig your way out of a quarry. Is that the saying? That's it
is.
I actually like this Buffy episode. I mean, I like Buffy at rock bottom because honestly, her rock bottom's not that bad, bro. Like, it's not that bad. So what? So rock bottom. Okay, she has a service industry job. Okay, all right, that's not great. Rock bottom. Oh, she has a boyfriend. Well, the boyfriend's the things that you would be the negative is that Spike is not a good enough villain, right? At this point, either he's not a good enough hero or he's not a good enough villain. He's just kind of a bad villain. Like, he's not. He doesn't
the rock bottom is lying about it, right? It's like, it's not that she, you know, she's with the bad boyfriend. It's like she's with a bad boyfriend and she's lying to her friends and family about it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like, even that it's just service industry and stuff, but that she's clinically depressed and isn't doing anything about it.
Right.
Like,
and it's making her a bad mom at the same time, where she's actually a bad parent for Dawn. And, like, we see it episode after episode. Dawn acting out Dawn's issues are, like, exacerbated by Buffy's inability to be there for her. And, like, why? Because Buffy would rather have sex with someone she doesn't care about just to stop, like, having to think about it. I mean, I think this is rock bottom. I mean, it could be worse. It could definitely be worse. But just bring Giles into the mix somehow.
Well, we'll find out if it gets worse in upcoming episodes.
I'm pro Spike in this episode. I think the only thing is that Spike is not cool enough. Like, Spike does, like, dark pretty good, but there's not, like, layers. And the character was never really written with layers. Like, Spike was never, like, really intelligent or smart. Like, that was never written into the character. He was just kind of, like, evil and simple.
And British.
Yeah. So I think that's what's really letting things down. Like, I just don't believe he's not more interesting than he should be after 120 years. Like, it's just frustrating. But I have no problem with Spike and Buffy's relationship. I'm always out of sync. What can I say?
I mean, I thought it was great that I felt vindicated. Vindicated. Vindicted. That's not a word. I felt vindicated that that the show remembered that Spike's a bad guy this episode. That was great. Right? It's just like, oh right, of course he's doing some shady shit. That's who he is. We just pretended that he was funny this whole time. I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely pointless, but in the scene, this great little scene in the bathroom we have with Anya and Xander, while there's like some kind of monster fight happening between Anya's monster friends and Xander's family, that during that scene, you can see in the background they have little towels with an A and an X monogrammed on them. It's adorable.
Yeah, it's cute. It's funny because they could also go A because he's Alexander.
Oh yeah, they could. That would not be helpful, I guess, to know whose towel is who.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. If you're married to somebody or if you're cohabitating with them at this point, like, do you really need to know whose towel is who?
Yes.
I just wanted to shout out that Xander has a really great line where he calls Riley and Sam Nick and Nora Fury, which I just thought was super charming. For those who don't quite catch the reference, like Nick Fury, obviously everybody knows now, but would have been like a little bit of an obscure reference back then. But Nick and Nora Charles are a detective couple from the Thin Man series, originally based on a book written by Dashiell Hammett. It was a series of very charming movies back in the early days of cinema, played by Nick Powell and Myrna Loy.
Yeah. Yep.
Very good movies.
They're
one of them
amazing.
is going to definitely go into my recommendations. So it's a really charming double reference.
I didn't get all that. That's good. Thank you, Dennis.
You're welcome.
Well, this breakup scene at the end is awesome. I mean, I love like how, Buffy moves on from Spike here. Presumably, she actually moves on. I mean, I don't really believe it, but it's still like it feels really powerful.
Yeah.
I love Spike in his just destroyed place, and like Buffy just piles it on there. It's just like and it says clearly like I want you, but I'm moving on. I'm using you. Anyway, it's just a great scene.
Spike should feel lucky to not be just a pile of ash.
Yeah, I mean, both the Slayer and then James Bond were here, and you didn't get murdered. So
James Bond
lucky.
Jr.
I'm sorry, James Bond Jr.
What's the crappy American version of James Bond? Oh, Jack Ryan.
It probably just depends which era.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. Steve McQueen, right?
Oh yeah, Bullet.
Yeah.
Let's do questions for the group.
Questions for the group.
What were the jobs that gave you the worst smells? I think the smell thing is real. I also agree that it might
is.
be a little classist. For me, it was working at Wendy's, and I totally agree with Dennis's comment about the pants. Like, the pants are, for some reason, everything goes there, probably because, like, in lieu of a napkin, you're probably wiping your hands on your pants or something. But man, just like that meat smell from being at the grill for 6 hours.
Yeah,
was
those
horrific.
black service industry pants, man. Those have a strong smell. I'd say for me it was either working some sort of fast food or when I was doing furniture repair, because I used so many like caustic chemicals and stuff. I think those were like smells that can also give you brain damage.
Right.
But they were
It's
strong.
not just unpleasant. Yeah.
Insane, man.
I think Subway was the worst, as I said. There's a really good. It was an old Daily Show joke where they were like, a Subway where it always smells like a fresh baked loaf of bread just took a shit. And that's very accurate. But also, like, when I worked at a fish place, which was actually a good place, apparently the thing that happens with fish is that, like, you get the oils in your skin, right? And then you get off of work and you smell like fish, but you take a shower because you smell like fish. But then, like, because the oils are, like, in your pores and, like, you take a shower and, like, your pores close up from the cold water or whatever, then later, later when you sweat, the fish smell comes back.
Oh no. Are you taking cold showers?
I was then, because that was
that's what
that was the summer of 2003, and it was like 100 degrees in Brooklyn when I was working there that summer, and that was the summer of it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. It was very apt.
That's the closest to singing I think I've ever heard you come.
And now you know why.
Oh my god. Yeah, for being a doctor, definitely you get some rough smells. I mean, it's I think there's smells that you'll never forget.
right? I mean, there's a variety
your
of
voice
smells.
is like,
but,
I don't know what happened. Your voice has been pitched down like 200%.
What?
Are you using an app, dude?
I'm on a vocoder. What's up? I feel like everything's normal.
No, it's not.
No, dude, you sound like you're 2 octaves. I mean,
Hello?
What happened?
What happened? Nothing happened.
That's amazing.
Everything is normal. Everything
No,
is
it's not. The more you're
everything is
talking.
I can't wait for you to listen to this, Travis.
no. It's normal, guys.
Everything is normal, you guys. I don't understand what the problem is.
let's just roll with it. Let's roll with it.
Okay, but I remember, Travis, just when you stayed with me for a month, that you'd come in and you'd be like, I spilled like a quart of some fluid on me today, you know, and I was like, this sounds so terrible. So I can definitely understand that there's like terrible smells you got to deal with that get on you, and it's like not only is it like it smells bad, but it's like a biohazard. So
That's true. Yeah, that's true. The worst smell, hands down, is what is going on.
I'm sorry. Make your point. I will try not to laugh.
Is human liver. So
Whoa.
human liver has the strongest smell, and it smells just like animal liver, but obviously human liver is a lot bigger. So human liver smells one way when it's fresh, and another when it's a little bit. It has been sitting for a few days, and it smells so strong. Like it has the most pungent odor. You know, it's. Like I could never ever eat liver of any kind because I would just be like, oh, this is what human liver tastes like, because it just smells so strong. I mean, the bowels, the bowel stuff, the feces, the excrement, all that has a certain smell, of course. And when you do an autopsy, you cut the bowel open and you run it end to end, looking for any abnormalities. So you have to like scoop out all the feces and everything like that, and that's not pleasant. No one likes being assigned that role because there's like different roles during an autopsy, anyway, so no one likes that role. But that liver smell and like how all that is. Oh,
Well, so guys, who do you think wins this one?
I think I think it's
Travis.
You think? Maybe Travis wins this one? Oh my god. We're all over here like, I'm like, I don't think that the bread smells very good when it's baked at Subway. And Travis is like, yeah, I cut open someone's colon and scooped out their poo.
it's all relative. It's all relative.
Yeah, it is.
It's fine. It doesn't bother me.
We had
someone once famously said, "It is what it is."
It is. At the furniture repair place, we had a back room that was just a big vat that was for stripping chemicals and for stripping furniture. So it's like this big acid vat, and it smelled terrible. And of course, we didn't like clean it out, so it was like years of like chemicals mixing together. I had a coworker who will remain nameless, but he used to just get high by walking into it, and like he wouldn't wear the mask and stuff, so he just like put his head close to the dip and just breathe in and get fucking like super high. And
Is he okay now?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't talk to him.
Totally worth it.
But yeah, no, it's still not going to beat Travis's stories.
Yeah, you win. It's like you've been killed already and come back.
John, you got the next question.
Yeah. Okay. This really very much felt like a pre-Facebook thing to happen, where you're like, you suddenly see your ex and then know how they're doing, as opposed to just always knowing. So like, when you find out that your exes are doing well or whatever, are you able to be happy for them, or does the jealousy ever get the better of you? It's my question for the group.
Wow. You're really asking this question, huh?
You don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
When I was a young man, I would be jealous, but now as an older man, I am thrilled that I'm no longer with any of them.
Yeah, I definitely get that. There's some exes where I'm just like, oh, I'm really glad I'm not part of this situation. Definitely.
Dang. I think most of my exes are pretty happy, from what I can tell.
No, are you happy about it?
Oh, yeah. No, I just meant though, like, oh, I don't think I have anyone who I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm not part of that situation.
Yeah.
I for the most part, I'm happy. I think because I've been single for so long, maybe a little bit of jealousy seeps in, but it's not vicious. It's just my own like empty life.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, I'm happy for people to be happy, right? Like, yeah, that is.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. I feel like it's mostly like, yeah, occasionally it's jealousy, but it's not directed at them. It's directed at me. It's like, yeah, mostly it's good.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to say I'm happy for them, but I think like there's that level of possession that you experience when you can't ever let go of, which you like have to let go of. I mean, it's weird to think about people that you dated or, asked out and didn't got rejected from, right? Like it's weird that those rejections live in your mind forever in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, different times I'm happy for them. I think it's like I'm speculating on alternate realities, but in general, I'm just happy that I'm not in that situation. So I'm happy that they're happy. That's great. Mm-hmm. And happy to have moved on. Can't rewrite the story of your experience. So I guess jealousy is like, that's definitely the early feeling, and that burns out. It's too hard to live in jealousy. Like you can't.
Well, that's a young man's problem.
Yeah, I agree with
it
that.
Is.
Jealousy is a young man's game.
Yeah, it is. One thing that I will cop to was
now vengeance. That's an old man's trait.
Vengeance. Vengeance is eternal.
In your terrifying voice, Travis?
Am I talking normally now? Please tell me.
No, you're not. You're still a monster. One kind of jealousy I will cop to is that it really hurt was like when you're with somebody and like, you spend a lot of time making fun of stuff and then you break up and they go and do the stuff that you were too cool for. Like, I was involved with somebody who we were like way too cool for like,
everything.
Punk. We were way too cool for everything. Absolutely.
You guys were way too cool for everything, man. I know.
Dennis already knows.
I don't even have
Dennis
to.
already knows.
Dennis knows immediately what I'm talking about. We would make fun of people who were like into punk music and like went to punk shows. And then like 30 seconds after we broke up, she's in a band. And I'm like, God damn it, that's bullshit. That really pissed me off.
So what is Spike? Is Spike a cool guy that has his own apartment and waits behind a tree for you when you come from work? Is he a vampire that's selling demon eggs for cash in order to make a few bucks on the side? Why isn't this show just about Spike? Spike seems like a weird, interesting guy with a lot going on. Why isn't this show just about Spike?
Yeah, Spike
is it already all about Spike? Is it just about Spike?
This might be season Spike.
For some fans, it definitely is.
Yeah, Spike contains multitudes. That's what we learned this episode. He's not as think as you dumb I am.
Well, let's quickly reframe what we know about Spike, right? We've had enough flashbacks, right? So he was like a failed poet, right? It was like 1880-ish, right? He was from England. Drusilla made him a vampire. He was kind of a bumbling idiot, right? That's how he was sort of portrayed.
Yeah.
I mean, an aesthete, right? Like, a poet.
Okay. But he didn't seem like a really particularly smart poet, right?
Yeah, no, he was a man who didn't have to work.
Okay.
And spent his time trying to write poetry, but with no real life experience.
So maybe we should assume he did have an education then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I've been thinking he's a lot dumber than he should be, or he has a lot less education than he should. That's interesting.
Well, I think the Spike persona, because the Spike persona he adopted was like the reverse of who William was, right?
Right.
He puts
like
on
a rebellious type persona.
Yeah, and he puts on a like more lower class accent, all that. So he probably like purposely rejected planning and like overthinking things, and he was like trying to embrace this live in the moment attitude that became his like persona for like 100 years, right? But we know like he is a bit of a planner. Like he makes back in season 2, he was making plans for how to kill Buffy. He was doing stuff like recording or fighting style so he could figure it out, all that stuff. Who is he is a good question. I don't have any more of an answer than that.
I mean, the show is making us obsessed with them, right? They're like, look at this weird, he's like a compellingly interesting character that is constantly up to something, like, but it only gives us so much access, right? We just like the kitten trading, right? Or the kitten poker, right? Just like he gives us access to this kind of funky demon world that doesn't exist on Angel, or it's like just a level of comedy kind of brought to it. It's like dark but silly. It's like that world is special, and it's like, I don't know, Spike's world's interesting. What is he? The fact that the show is both so critical of him and then also like loves celebrating kind of the weird world that he lives in. Yeah, it definitely feels like this is season Spike, I guess is what you're saying.
Have we had just a Spike focused episode, like where it wakes up with him waking up? We've never had a truly Spike focused episode.
When he told this story of like his killing all the Slayers and stuff, I mean, that was like as Spike
That's
focused
true.
as you get.
That was
right?
pretty close. And
that
Something
was-
Blue.
Yeah.
Something Blue was like Spike and Buffy focused, right?
Yeah.
I would love like a Zeppo style Data's Day kind of like the daily life of Spike. What does he get up to from dusk till dawn, I suppose?
Yeah. How
Yeah,
often
great.
is he stalking Buffy without her noticing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. Make it a comic.
I'd watch that, yeah. Or read that.
So we don't have themes and deep stuff this week because I feel like we kind of covered it within everything else. Do we want to do where do we go from here now before we do recommendations?
Where do we go from here?
So I have an idea for where do we go from here. Buffy someday will end, but our friendship will not. So what's our next podcast or other project idea? And I'm going to pitch Sonic the Hedgehog because we brought it up this week. Sonic, not only a video game and Sega mascot, Sonic has a huge, decades-long comic history, movie history, a lot to explore. I've never really super gotten into Sonic, but I have friends who read the Archie comics for years who were really into it, who were super into like the early Sonic fandom on early internet. And knowing that really fascinated me. And I just recently got sent a link to every British Sonic comic, and I find that super interesting because the American Archie Sonic comics were following this really large continuity that was kind of, it involved kingdoms and multiverses and stuff. And like weird stuff, like when Sonic got his redesign, when he went from being like a cute little circle guy into like a more stretched out guy with green eyes, the way the comics handled it is they murdered the original Sonic, and then a different Sonic from the multiverse showed up to take his place, which feels so insane to me. But I know the British Sonic comics would be where we would start because I don't know anything about them. They're an entirely different continuity. And they're the version where Sonic started out as a brown hedgehog and going the speed of sound turned him blue somehow. So I'm kind of interested in that. And like, I know he has a different relationship to Robotnik in that series and stuff. So that's my pitch is like, we start to read the Sonic British comics, but we do it with an overall sense of what is the Sonic universe. And we maybe like review a Sonic game every episode, stuff like that. So that's my pitch.
Okay, I have a couple questions.
Uh-huh.
So first of all, I have a sense, and I please correct me if I am wrong, but my sense is that Sonic fandom, and I'm not saying that this makes or breaks my desire to do the podcast with you, but my sense is that Sonic fandom is definitely furry adjacent.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure that that's
I think
right.
a lot of people are horny for Sonic and Tails, right?
Right.
Miles,
okay.
Tails powers.
And also I think kind of like you said, like there is no canonical Sonic story. There's like there's a whole bunch of parallel ones, right?
Yeah, there's not a single canonical Sonic. And I think what happens with the Archie comics is for years, whenever there was a new game or something, they had to write in the new characters from that game into the main if we call the Archie comics the main Sonic universe, they had to like figure out how that fits with the new game, stuff like that. Introduced like Shadow the Hedgehog and stuff.
Cool. All right. That is definitely an idea.
For sure, an idea.
So I'm curious with the furry adjacent stuff that John brought up, because I bet, is there a Sonic with boobs? Is there like a...
There's a he has a love interest in the comics, and I think the same love interest in the Saturday morning series, which I have seen some episodes of. And she's
his name's Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Princess Fiona or something like that. Maybe not Fiona, but like there's a squirrel princess who's got boobs.
Because I would think
Amy
that,
Rose?
No, Amy Rose is
Okay.
a different character.
Okay.
Because I have a cynical kind of thought that maybe this culture is built out of maybe one animal character with boobs that appears early on that transfixes the adolescent imagination. Or I just like, how do you build a kingdom out of Sonic about someone like jumping on platforms? You know what? Never mind. I'm sure there's a lot going on in this universe. Dude, I'm so curious, but I don't want to spend a year on this problem.
Yeah.
I did come up with where something off the top of my head just now, if you want to hear it.
Go for it. Yeah.
I guess you could call the podcast Best and Last Wishes, where we just talk to people about their funeral wishes, and you can talk to strangers online and other people in our lives and get them on the podcast and just help them out to make their last wishes their best wishes.
Well, these are two ideas that don't belong in the same category.
Yeah, I can't wait to see both those on a spreadsheet, baby.
Yeah, I need to start this spreadsheet before we start forgetting things.
Wait, best and last wishes? So we're trying to improve their last wishes by getting them to like talk them through.
Yeah.
And this is like when you die, what you want to have happen, or
probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
Dude, that's a bomb idea. Like
right, because when do you have those conversations? Like you never have them in time.
No, and you see it when you go to the cemetery. All those weird headstones with the like etched image of someone who's like a grandma. You're like, grandma wouldn't want a picture of her as a grandma as her photo, as her image on this thing. Who would do that? Someone who remembers grandma would do that. Yeah, I mean, I would say most people do not have this figured out, like what they want to have happen when they die. I think that's a great subject for exploration about how you lived, and yeah, that would be really crazy.
What's the title of this podcast again?
Best and Last Wishes, I believe. But I'd like to hear Travis say it.
Your best and last wishes.
Oh, I vote that you just keep this effect on your voice when we do this podcast.
One member of our podcast doesn't want his identity known, so his voice has been altered.
Despite being doxxed again and again on the podcast, somehow he thinks he'll avoid detection that way.
I'm curious if this is just in the Zoom call or in the Audacity recording also. So I'm interested to hear this back.
Dennis, is there a title that you're proposing for your Sonic podcast?
Oh, Way Past Cool.
That is a very good title.
Oh, yes. That's
It was
very good.
partially inspired by my friend Dane Martin and his obsession with Sonic. And he just recently posted some Sonic fan art that cracked me up for like an hour because it was Sonic talking about his religious views. And he was like, we were all born way past cool. And like by then by the time we die, like, you know, we don't have the honor of being alive anymore and there's no more cool. And then the next panel was Tails being like, shut the fuck up. I'm the one who went to college. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Sounds like Tails is Sonic's supervisor at the fast food restaurant.
Yeah. All right. You guys want to move on to recommendations?
Recommendations.
Yeah.
All right, so this was a weird batch for Rex for me this week. So the Thin Man, because of the Nick and Nora Charles references, there's an entire series of them, and it's funny that they're all like the Return of the Thin Man, et cetera, because the Thin Man is technically the guy they're looking for in the first movie, and he never really returns. But the series is really great. Like in later, Jimmy Stewart is in like a later one, but the first one is just so solid, and they're such a charming couple, and the amount of witty back and forth they have makes Buffy look like lazy. And they have a cute dog named Aster. It's a really great series. I'm going to recommend also the movie Ticks, because there were giant ticks on this movie. The movie Ticks has giant ticks, and a young Seth Green, and Clint Howard. I'm going to recommend Masters of the Universe because of our makeup man, Todd McIntosh. A movie from our childhood that, aside from the makeup, probably doesn't stand the test of time, but it's got Dolph Lundgren. And because of Riley's wife, Sam, I'm going to recommend Casino Royale.
And then I have a single recommendation, and that is the band Trespassers Williams, which was also featured in this episode.
Nice.
It had been featured before.
Were they at the Bronze?
No, they were. I don't remember. It was towards the 2/3 way through. 2/3 or 3/4 way through.
Let's do some predictions. Let's find out what the points are.
Virgin Predictions.
Okie dokie. So, Michael Poley, at present, your overall score is at a 64.05. Your score for season 6 here is at a 73.47, thus making it your second most accurately predicted season overall so far, just behind season 2. So let's see what we can do with that. So scrolling through here. So, Michael, back in season 2, episode 16, you predicted that people will remember being in love with Xander. You pointed this one out, I think, because, Willow, of course, remembers that she was once in love with Xander. I think that I'm going to go ahead and suggest that we're going to leave this one open for now, partly because this is referring to something relatively specific, which is the spell, but more than that, because it is really more about the light of the law than that. It says people, and Willow is not people; she is a person. So if Dawn had chimed in, maybe there'd be a case to be made here. But since Willow is only one person, my camera's going out again.
That is so deeply interesting as an interpretation. People versus person. Well, I can't wait for you to get that job working with Mitch McConnell, John. I'm really proud of you, dude, for really for working and getting that job in the Senate, dude. I'm so proud of you, man.
You know how to wound me. Goodness gracious. Okay, season 4, episode 5. We predicted, Michael, you predicted that Riley will be killed by a vampire. I'm sorry, I don't know why that one's highlighted. We're going to skip that one because he's still alive and he could still be killed by a vampire at any time. But this one definitely. Michael, you predicted that Riley will start attending school like nothing happened. And I think at this point, like we've been this is when we weren't really sure when to talk about this, right? But I think at this point we can say he's not going to go back to his TA job. I think this can probably be the time where we say that that one is denied.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, season 5, episode 11, you predicted that Riley will return from Belize, brackets, the jungle, and Buffy will have moved on. So definitely Riley has come back from the jungle. That part is not up for debate. Has Buffy moved on, and what does it mean to have moved on? What do you guys think? I think I'm leaning towards confirming this one.
Yeah. She has moved on. She's moved on in exactly the way Sam says of like better the wrong guy than, or better the reverse of what Sam says.
No guy than the wrong guy.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Also, Michael, you predicted along with that Riley will return for at least one episode. And so he has. So then well done on that. Okay. And then I think just one more here. Michael, you predicted, this is a super prediction, in fact, that Buffy and Spike will break up in season 6. And this is what we've been having kind of a hard time with because it's never been really clear if they were together or not. And therefore, they seem to be always breaking up. But I think this episode has a very clear breakup moment. that makes me feel comfortable confirming this one, even though it's a super prediction. It's going to do good things for you.
Wouldn't want that. I like that the person who's legally running the system wants me to lose.
Has a personal vested stake in the outcome, it sounds like.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm that one because, you got to be fair. Okay, so with that super confirmation.
I just want to point out, sorry, you've been calling these season 5 instead of season 6.
Thank you
for affecting.
Good call. That will break the spreadsheet. I don't put that in accurately. Thank you. With all that said and done, Michael, your overall accuracy is now at a 64.81, and your accuracy for this season is up to a 73.58.
There were a couple that I thought didn't get addressed here.
Okay.
Season 5, episode 10, I got this. We aren't going to hear about what happened in Belize.
Oh, good call.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I totally missed that one.
This one actually is probably for the Angel episode, but I don't think we addressed it, that Angel will kill Darla again. I guess that could still happen.
Wait, did we not address that? We definitely should have.
That should be denied, right? Because Darla killed Darla.
What's Darla on Darla violence?
Oh, and that's a super.
Right. You love denying those, John.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's on the tape, man.
Roll tape. Roll tape.
You gained a confirmation for season 6, so that actually went up to a 74.07. You are within 1 percentage point of this being your best season ever for predictions.
All right. I guess it's time for more predictions. Prediction 1, I believe, and this is a, we'll see at the end of the show kind of prediction, but Riley and Sam live happily ever after together. This seems like a match for the ages, guys. James Bond Jr. and someone from the James Bond franchise finally connecting. Second prediction, I believe Buffy has actually quit her job at the Double Meat Palace. I think that was an actual quit that took place. Third prediction, at least one human and one demon will develop a relationship at Anya and Xander's wedding. Now, I want to be kind of vague about this. I was going to be more specific, but I just think humans and demons coming together, there's going to be some more opportunities for human-demon kind of pairings.
Would a hookup count?
I'm not going to use the phrase hookup, okay?
I mean, okay, would a one-night stand count for this? Or
yes, that would count. I mean, you guys are going to do it on relationship. Okay.
Yeah.
Please help me understand how to say that there'll be a connection, an intimate connection. Okay.
Yeah, we should create, we should have before this created some sort of language for.
Okay, a human and a demon will develop an intimate connection at Anya Xander's wedding. That could be just dancing together, touching, kissing, having sex, and then never talking again. That's fine. It's just an intimate connection between two very different worlds. Fourth one here, Buffy gets a new job in season 6, not at the Double Meat Palace. Just a new job. I don't want to say if it's part-time or full-time. I'm just going to say new job. And then the super prediction, Buffy and Spike will have sex again after season 6, episode 15. Super.
All right, guys. I think that's all she wrote. I've been your host, Dennis St. John. You can find me at Dennis Comics. That is at DENISCOMIX. That's my Twitter, Instagram, and my .com. I got a lot of monster comics. They're fun if you like Buffy and you like monsters and you like a guy obsessed with monsters. And I want to thank you one and all for listening and talking to us at Buffy Virgin. You can rate us and subscribe, and we would be so happy. You can watch us on YouTube. Our Twitter is at Buffy Virgin Pod. Instagram is Buffy Virgin. And we'll see you in hell.